Good morning and welcome back to Satisfactory. I hope you slept well. I did. So, in the last recording, I set up that rail route, sent it off to my steel factory, which is fairly close, but far enough I could actually build some rail. When I got there, I got the stations set up, so we're moving stuff. And then I retired the old lines, and that involves you cut the lines where you're bringing them into the station, and then you follow the lines as they drain. Put something in the base so they do drain. Follow the lines as they drain and delete them, and then delete all the support stuff, and then make sure the power is connected and delete the power. And everything that is now dead is gone. Like I still have that ramp to do that real quick. And in the process of doing this, I found that I really wasn't terribly enamored of the way my upslopes were. So I was doing it all manually, and basically it was a pain in the. This one had a lot of ups. And when you look at where we're going to go next, come on. I have a bad feeling. Okay, I will come back to that later. I have a bad feeling about the upslopes because we are going to be doing a lot of upslopes to get from here to our sulfur area. And when I turned off the recording, I said I was going to go do the oil area, and I did. But I did the same thing to oil. I laid out station here, and oil only produces two outputs. It produces rubber and plastic. Oh, and I complicated our station a little. So we unload from the train into the boxes, as you can see here. Should do it. And we have two of our best belts from each train car unload area into industrial buffers. And I wanted to see everything going, top speed, have everybody producing, see how fast it could go. So I put in some smart splitters so that if the industrial buffers are full, we simply sync what's coming in. I did that on both of them. Do the same thing over there. He's kind of packed a little better because he had 3 cars. So I built the rail going down towards the power area. And I picked up the plastic and the rubber coming from the newest bit of stuff, which is the recycled rubber and recycled plastic area. And then I started deleting dead machines. Well, we didn't need any of the other factories that were building rubber or plastic because our recycled stuff is turning out 400 a minute. And we didn't need the fuel generators. And I decided to tear up the compacted coal and coal burners that I was doing. And I just realized that I could have made compacted coal a output of this and put a third car on the train for compacted coal. And what was I thinking? Adding a car to the involve extending the train station down a little bit and extending something over there. And then adding stuff. Yeah, it's a bit of work. So over here, I ended up pulling up basically everything. So we no longer have any automation making packaged fuel. We have a number of industrials around just sitting there with packaged fuel in them and spewing it out into the. That's fun. I have a bulk area over here for recycling. In the process of pulling everything, I had to recycle a whole lot of stuff. Otherwise, your inventory starts getting full as you delete things and you put it somewhere, so I put it in the recycler. I did try to make sure that all of the plastic I built got routed through the train. Much of it got synced at the other end. That's okay, that's by design. And we are now steady state. Oh, that's right, you can't just look at these guys. These are Mark IV belts. I think is so these are 480 resources a minute. Oh, that's right. My net output is 200 each. So I probably could have left some other places building. Eventually we are going to want to increase this as we use more plastic. I'm thinking what I will do is I will keep at this scale until I need more. Here's our current power situation. We lost the compacted coal, so we are up to 5.5 gigawatts plus the 550. So 5 gigawatts of fuel generator plus half a gigawatt from the alien thingamabobber, and then another 10% on that, total of just over 6 gigawatts. And this area is all cleared out and ready, ready for me to do whatever. And you'll notice that I don't have the ability to hover over most of this because, like I said, most of it. Oh, the other thing I did, I put in priority power switches. Our main power comes down to here and we split it out in various directions. I keep the power on the big power lines. And I didn't put it in here yet. Let me put it in here. See what I was doing. Already power switch. Clean. This is called the Fluxo Array A. So fuel plant A, Fluxo Array A, and Fluxo Array here at Group 1. This allows us to cut off either of the generator arrays and separately cut power to the fuel plant. That's going to be up at the top, so we can, basically those are there so we can turn them back on to something. And we have switches down here. We can turn off our steel area, which is out at pure iron heaven. And if we start losing power, the first thing that's going to go off, we're gonna cut off the recycling. And as we lose more power, we'll cut off the steel plant, and we'll worry about that as we. So now, if I cut that off, notice one of our arrays actually produces enough to keep our factory running the way it is now, although we could easily exceed that. And currently have basically our plastic and our steel are the only. Everything else is kind of stopped up because, of course, we have filled all of our thingamabobbers, all of our containers. The other thing that I decided I didn't really like about this layout, we're going through the middle. Notice how we hitch, kind of the camera kind of stalls as it tries to fly through the power pole. So I have a version 2 of my rail that I'm going to use for this next bit. I don't think I'm going to refit the version 1s for a while at least. Maybe I'll wait until I've done several iterations on it before I go back and read. Our trains are configured so that when they pick up, they do the normal pickup. So it says wait there for 1 load cycle or 15 seconds. At the main base, I'm waiting until you're completely unloaded. So if for some reason we can't unload you in 1 cycle, it will sit there and try again. So the idea is we always send out the trains empty from main base to wherever they're going. If we have a train that goes around and picks up from several places, like for instance we're going to have with the bauxite, we may arrive at a station without enough space to pick up the stuff from the station. It's kind of obvious because stations can give you a full car if they're filled. But at least we'll start out empty. That also means that if we do get truly stopped up, if something goes wrong with our cyclers here, sinks, train will simply sit here until it can offload what its stuff is. So we won't go and get more until we're done. The steel and oil areas do not sink their output if it can't go to the train. It does mean that I need to be very careful to locally sink any stopped up byproducts. That's all set up. We have our fuel array is turning out some resin, has to be synced. So what we do is we build some, not recycled, but normal plastic and rubber from the resin. And then we sink those if they're full, and they also feed in. I don't think I actually feed those back to the train. I think those just kind of go to the depot, or go to the dimensional depot. They go to the DD, but otherwise they just sit there and they're going to a sink if they. Let's see, this has been running freely since last night. We have 10 more coupons. And I'm going to keep the coupons in the dimensional depot. So there are some basic things that I am not automating yet, even to go to the dimensional depot. AI limiters come to mind, and high-speed connectors. I'm starting to use high-speed time to time. I think I have put some in bottom. Yeah, I've got some. I put some AI limiters in the dimensional depot just out of my inventory. I forgot what I used the high-speed. Supercomputer. It's used to make something I was building, and I can't remember what it is. Right out of my head. Anyway, so that's what I did after I logged off. And you notice that much emptier. And the next step is for us to start setting out across the desert. And my first thought was that I would go out and I would make a train that picked up all the bauxite and take it down to where I'm needed. And then I'd make trains to pick up the other stuff and bring it. And then the second thought was, how would I build the factory first? Start out with a pilot factory, make it into slices, so I can put down one slice of the factory and then I can add more slices later to increase the throughput. Put down one slice, and then build the train to go get the stuff, because then I'll know where the drop-off points are. And then I realized we were talking about using this zip line to get to and from the main base for a very long. And that's kind of awkward. What I think I'm going to do is take over some area out here, away from power. And I'm going to start deconstructing my bus back to where I can. Probably what I'll do is I'll chop it here. From that end, we'll be bringing in, chop it, or could put it over here. That's actually better. I'll put it over here. That will allow me to feed into the bus heading off to the left. Who knows where this bus is going to go, or even if it's going to go. But that would allow me to at least have maybe a third deck, or maybe widen the bus. I'm not sure which way I want to go. I have widened the bottom deck, so maybe my aluminum products go on the next foundation of the second deck. That sounds like. If they are, then it might be. You're thinking that I'm going to place this line. This way I can do more of this modular stuff with whatever I bring back from them. Now the question is, am I going to do the copper out there? Because that will affect the aluminum. Does it affect the train? What could I potentially bring back from there? Aluminum has the aluminum casings and the all-clad aluminum bars, whatever they're all-clad aluminum sheets, whatever they are. Those two products. What else is the ingot used in? Used in aluminum sheet, aluminum casing, all-clad casing. So there's really just two products right now. I don't think I'm going to bring ingots back. I think I will leave the aluminum ingots at aluminum, bring back the aluminum products. So there'll be casings and sheets. So is there anything else we want to bring back from over Dataway? We're thinking about putting it in here. So looking at our center on that. That'd be a way to center on. Anyway, so over here we will have bauxite, which will come from here. I'm going to set the bauxite up on a dedicated train. It will do what it will do. 5, 6, 7, 8. God. Sulfur might be able to belt in the coal. That might even be enough coal for what we're doing. Copper exists down there. We could bring copper in if we want to. If we're going to be bringing back the all-clad sheets, we'll need copper. And I think copper is trained. Copper may be on its own designated train. We'll have a bauxite train, and I think I will arrange it so the bauxite train just goes and gets the closest one. So we come out of here and we'll come down and we'll get close ones, and then as time goes by, I will extend the train line to go pick up more and more bauxite as we want to increase our capacity. Sulfur is, we've got some down here and some up there. This is actually a big cliff, so a big waterfall here. This guy is very low. So if we mined him, we have the option of turning him into sulfuric acid here. Actually, enough space there to do that. Or if we do that, then we have to pump the acid up. I don't like putting fluids on trains. Or we could take the sulfur and we could put it on a big belt and bring it up and do the sulfuric acid here, which would mean the sulfuric acid would just snake its way down this way, and that probably would be just one big pipeline. Alternately, the sulfuric acid gets packaged into the base, and what I do is I run a train somewhere, probably here or here, go get sulfur. Be that as it may. Our first step is, how do I get a train from here to here? I'm thinking, this doesn't really show me how big my train is. Hold on, I'm going to load this into SCIM really quickly so we can take a look at how wide our train tracks are on this map. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So this is our top-down view on SCIM. I have cropped the view so you don't have to deal with all of the other cruft that's going up here. Here's our main base. We've got these nice little square bits. Station. See, these are our power lines. So this is my handling for SAM. I don't think I've ever covered this. It's really simple. I mine the SAM, toss it through the couple of constructors. It goes into a box where we make the reanimated SAM available, and then I grabbed it and I pulled it all the way down here, and what the hell did I do with it? Iron ore to iron ingots, wire. Oh, right, SAM fluctuators. Right. I wanted to make some SAM fluctuators and have them in the depot, and it's kind of a minor thing. It was a kind of a lunchtime build. I kind of chilled out and put it together. Nothing much. Sorry, I didn't. Up here we have our power coming in, and you can see how I ran the power out here looking for, and then I connected that back up. Way down here, that's where we're getting our. So we've got a miner Mark II, turning out 480 quarts per minute. I have overclocked it. Well, I needed the silica. I could have used there's the more quartz nodes here. Anyway, it is overclocked, and we are turning out silica. If we're getting 100 silica. Too bad I can't see what the throughput is on these. Love to have it say, this belt is carrying this many over the last minute. So, back out to here. Let's switch to real view. I can look at the real view, and it gives me a little better sense of what kind of terrain I'm on. Off. Doing weird stuff. So, let's turn on copper. Oh, just to kind of emphasize where that stuff is, and so I've turned on the nodes that I may have to go, other than the bauxite, which is all just striped across. Now let's look at where we want to route ourselves. We're coming across that's how big our railway. So snaking it up there might be... Yeah, okay. I like to keep it. I like to keep it on the on the straight lines with 90-degree bends. See, I didn't get the signals aligned properly. It really shows up on the. But I'm thinking east from here, turn north. Can I avoid going up to the upper plateau? Sure, I can come across here. We'll need to be gaining altitude like mad at this point. And at some here, go back to the other view. It's actually a topographic map. Come across the desert here, come north here. We're going to be well away from the base. We may come near this guy. I need to figure out if I want to put things like the SAM fluctuators, and this is my Caterium. I could have sworn and was belted back to base. That is really odd, because I think actually did I not do that? Do I need to belt the? Do I need to bring the put a station at Caterium? The Caterium is about the same distance as Steel, so this is a very short railway. I could drop another station in this area, bringing it. So I'm going to head out from here. I think I'm going to start gaining altitude here modestly and make the turn and gain some more altitude. Get to here, maybe continue upwards. My goal is to get level with this guy. Well, this area. We may want to go scout this out. I'll start off by getting some. Okay, let's get rid of the cropped browser here. And our station is head here. I'm going to want the output to be on the left. Which means come past the station, turn around, go into the station, have the output left. I wish I could blueprint the whole station. So far, I'm having people pull into the station, which puts the output. Really don't want to get rid of means that my loop needs to fit. There's 5Y. Okay. Okay, so there's where we start. Slab. So we're going to be coming in here. This is where we make our turn and tuck in. So here. I didn't use the floors that have power underneath, so it's going to be tricky to set this up initially. Oh, and I wanted to switch to Cheap Track version 2. I added some U's, so I've got the 5 L's, didn't do the 3L or the 1L, because I wasn't using it. I'm going to start off with this guy, 7. They need to get. So the gap is because I've set up a blueprint that goes up 5. So the next blueprint over, I need to raise by 5. And if I snap blueprint to blueprint, it will try to put it at the base level. So I up 5, put the 5 spacer in, then put the other guy on top of it, then delete the spacer. Coming in here, let's run this little bit. You are going to come in from here. He's going to get other rail. Come in somewhere on this line. So it is going to require three this way, and oops, need one more. Right. Oh, right. We're only dancing over. Means it. Right there. This guy is going to come over 5-degree angle. And it's here and straight. I can stitch these together, beat the marker pieces like that. Here's our turnaround. We're going to come in on there, come around, and pull into the station from the back. So we need 3 stations followed by main guy. Can't put in the cargo stations. Putting this. I think I need some power. Just gonna put in some temporary power, get us going. Here. Put these up top, so I want to run real power lane. back to, this is going to be the center line of our corners of the doesn't matter why I'm taking time to line these, hitting them when I'm okay. So we're going to lead off from there. I'm going to start gaining altitude almost. So cargo. Do I want 3 cargoes? I don't. So station. We're going to be bringing back the 2 Lunam products to here. That's it. So, train station up face that way. Great platform. Outputs on the left. Put these to unload. Duty. Here. That way our signals will be good. Now our first blueprint is actually going to be on the level. This is our new tower blueprint. I've changed a few things. First thing, our hypertubes are now split. We have hypertubes on both sides of the tower. I am using a tower with a platform at the top, so if we light here, we can climb up and get up here and maybe use the zip lines to go further if we want. Power for these lights is not connected to the tower. We have a power line going down the middle. These guys separately. So in theory, we could put a light switch on this. In fact, I'm going to put a light controller down here. Light control panel right here. So that one side has a bulb on it. It's the first time I've used this, so I'm looking at it to see what this is like. Clearly, that's where I hooked it. Really wanted to hook into the side here. And if I delete this, it means I won't put it back and it won't correct it. Oh. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to have to put up with the fact that we're messing with our... This needs to go center. not a biggie. That's not a major access route for any. So these lights are now connected up to power here. Needs to connect into. Notice we now have light. Turn the antenna down. Think. Cool. Nice. Is night mode. Allows it to do different things at night than day. I'll worry about entrances and exit shortly. So the other thing I get with these power nubs is once I've got this powered, I've got it chained. This means that I can use my hover pack to continue working. So this is the version of the blueprint just to the hypertube mount. It has power connector. I'm going to 5U upwards. That. I was unable to do a good job of those beams, the side beams. I could make them go up at an angle. I just couldn't make them have a convincing joint went from flat to. So if I've used CT2, CT Cheap Track version 2, 5 forward, upward incline. So L is level and upward. So it starts. I want to put in one that has things out. You'll notice I am too low here. Put in the gap. You see. Notice my gap is just some 1 meter walls. You need so hypertubes can be tilted. These guys can be tilted to follow a slope, but the minimum angle is as bad as level for this guy. So we're going to end up with nice long runs with the occasional little flat spot in the middle. Nice if it smoothed those out. I think I remember that being a feature at one. Again, we need to put in our riser. I think I'm going to rework my hot bar down. Start off by erasing it. As we are going forward, my power, and I'm going to be bringing the hypertube along. Blueprints we're going. We have the main one. Power, mounts. Just the rail. To go with that. I'll put the gap out on 0 because it's kind of a temporary thing. So we go to 0 and him in. So far, good. I really wish I had a GPS of some sort in game so I could go to my destination and look at what my altitude is and then come back here and be rational about where I want my slopes. Right now, I'm just kind of putting the slope in where I think I need it. Seven. That. Let's put in. So I don't have a sloped version with the powers. I'm going to move that gap. Oh wait, no, we still do need it. So we do have to level out from time to time. I didn't do a sloped version of the main power like that. This is the power for lights or hovercraft. Notice I have used the connections here that have more available, so we could add a whole bunch more. So the next steps, I need to make a turn at some point. I think I'm going to go until I get to here. How am I going to turn my hypertube? I think I need to have one of these, have a minimum size turn on the level. I may need to do some work to prevent the hypertube slipping through the trains. Oh no, I know what I can do. Here's where I do my turn. I'm going to do the turn manually. I'm going to put in another power tower after I make my turn. So. So let's bring the rail up so I can actually start working. Bring this rail up first because it's going to be the one that has the side of the. Oh, and I did not put rail on. Let's put that on now. What is this to not bury itself under. I know that if I get the curve wrong at the beginning, he ends up with the side rail beside the. Do that. It looks like. Curve section. Yeah. Once we have made this, make the curve, split it even. A half. Give it 2. I'm doing halfway. I just do it always on the edge of the foundation. How does that look? We're using 2 foundations, so bad. Little by little, I am forming some, I hope, good habits. Go away. Top. It's the same curve as below, but it's rising to level. It clips in, that's okay. It doesn't clip in so far that the side rails disappear, that's okay. Now, since we're doing this one in, so we need to go through from a middle point. That is where we do need to be in the middle, because we need to go middle to middle, and we're rotating out the middle. If we go from here, I'm going to put a 5x5 plate out there and see what. Now, what would be cool if I could just continue onward. I want to do that. I would need to go here. Start from here. Here we actually okay, I've got a bunch of manual work. Look okay. Really want. At some point, if I'm going to be doing a lot of turns, what I want to do is I want to build a 5x5 loop that basically chomps from this corner 5x5 area. Set this up, side curve from here. Draw a diagonal line there. There. 8. Let's see. Diagonal. Okay. So we switch to the other method. Barriers. A barrier on that corner. Should perfectly line it up. I think I'd like this one better. Going to come through those points. That one that lines up with this. So there doesn't seem to be any way to get exactly 0.5. It's not exact. It's going to have to. I'm going to put in one that's halfway. It's kind of, it will repeat this at some point. Blueprint maker. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, so to make this line up, half foundation here. Foundation is wrapped there. You lay it down side. Texture painted bead. something here. Probably a vertical. Or here. If you can't make it. All of this is just temporary. Okay. Oh, except I do need the markers, so now we need this guy to come up that curve. Same thing on the other side. Oh, and it's here that we didn't do it there. Make this one. Start the slopes. Foundation. Foundations get on the slope. And you notice that because I have this little bit of power for the lights, I'm able to keep my hover pack. Up one short of the two. And now we pick our point for our. I'm going to come all the way out to here. All the way around to here. Curve. Metals. Instead. How am I going to support this? Beginning to think that what I want to do, find a center point for the circle and zoom out from it. Really means they need the same center point. Work. Find a center point for the circle. Exactly at right there. It's over to that point, bring it out. Really interested in only keeping the last one. Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to drop it down and over by half somehow. Same thing again. Nine clicks is 4 degrees. Magic seed. Put it edge. Oh, right. You put it exactly on the edge and then there. So maybe I go ahead and make this long. I don't know. How many more do I? 9 clicks to go. Too far. Let's do 2. Two clicks. Meets here, which means we're going to end up with overlapping. It's not going to work either. I'm not going to be able to get a smooth. Because the further in we go, the more this overlap is going to be. We have to put a vertical each one. That's going to be a lot of fiddle. So instead, I am going to completely have unsupported rig. Do it all around. So the aesthetic that I'm going for eventually end up with something clamped on the bottom here. It has some sort of visual of a hovering. foundations. I really wish we had one of these that wasn't. This is inverted up. Well, it's an aesthetic choice. Empty. Walls do. The wall prevents the Z biting. Don't have asphalt walls. It's fine. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna settle on. Go out straight and then make a 45-degree turn, and the rails do stay within the bounds. Walls to come up. These guys somehow. Let's leave these in place. Can't do it over here. So we'll just strip these off. Maybe the next time I do it, I'll leave some of these on. You really have to stop having them fairly soon. It's turned. Saw the edge here was apparently different edges of the asphalt have different colors. Okay, and this is going to be just more of this process of going up, taking turns until we get there. I am going to call this a recording for now. I will start recording again when I get near where we're going to be putting our aluminum, and we'll see you then.